Everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Bug Jar. Today we are doing a little retrospective. We've been working on our second album, and so we decided to take a look back on some of our old recordings and do a couple little reactions to those and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to start with a couple of Zach's and then move on to a couple of mine.
Yeah, the first one I'm going to start with is a song called Blueprints, which I wrote on my 21st birthday. This recording is from 2007. It was with my band Boho, which was my brother, Wayne, and my friend Joey. And this is not the earliest recordings that I made. I've made some recordings about 5, 6, 7 years before that, but this is pretty early in my music recording days.
Lost like the rest of the generation, and yeah, you know I know. We tell kings, and dreams and schemes, and we're not that different than the rest. We thought us turned to me, I can always say what's been said. You don't know who you are till you go. You didn't know you had a place till you was old. You didn't know you were for sale till you sold. You didn't know you were young till you got old. No, you didn't know you were young till you got old.
A couple of things that I noticed immediately on listening to that that I would improve at this point is that everything other than the vocal is in this really high spectrum. I don't know if it was just the way that I was using a microphone to capture things that it was that way, or if I EQ'd it that way. I think it was more just the capture from the microphone. It seemed, I know for a fact that the majority of the instruments and vocals and everything were all recorded on SM57s and 58s, which I think just doesn't necessarily do a good job of capturing the deeper tones. The vocal sounds like I was pretty close up on the mic, so it got a little bit more bottom end, but the drums, the bass, the guitar, everything is just really trebly and high end, and so it's just really kind of abrasive. I like the song, but I think that I would definitely rather record it than ever issue that particular recording. I think I was just happy putting out something that I wouldn't have been as happy about putting out today. I'm glad I did it, and that's a really important song to me, but I think I didn't necessarily know what I was doing. And then also, good God, the cymbals are just so loud. It's like everything is here, and then the cymbals are up here, volume-wise. So a lot of the Boho songs are kind of that way. We have lots of dogs going on.
My friend, I didn't think, instrumentally it was that bad. I was thinking that's surprisingly good for something that was recorded in a shed over a decade ago. You've definitely improved vocally, but I think the songwriting is really strong. That song is still a solid, strong song in my opinion. And I know I've enjoyed singing on it in the past, and I know Trevor has enjoyed singing and playing it, and your dad really likes it. So, I mean, he's a tough critic.
He likes it, but then he forgets that he likes it, and then you have to remind him again.
It's lunchtime, and they are wanting to remind us so that we don't forget, so that they don't starve to death. So the one we're going to do of mine is from 2010, which was the first year I ever did any kind of performance in front of human beings, not just in my bedroom.
Never knew
of all, I think my guitar playing was a lot less atrocious than I had imagined it would be almost a decade ago. You could definitely hear that I was not at all confident in anything that I was doing. But how about that bandpass filter at the beginning? Look at me getting all creative. So you could tell that I had not had any training in singing outside of like being in choir. So it was like I was almost on the cusp of knowing what I was doing, but not quite getting there. And I was singing in a key that didn't sound comfortable. I was like pulling things really far back in my throat. I think I was trying to sound mature, and really it just sounds kind of like muted and the same. But I think the guitar was okay and kind of cool sounding. It's not super well recorded. I recorded it on a laptop with maybe a Yeti microphone. So yeah, it's kind of interesting looking back. This was right before I started actually training and like learning how to sing and learning how to music better. So up to this point I had been strictly like a bedroom musician. So it's interesting like looking back now. I see young me kind of the same way I see a lot of my students, is like someone who has a lot of potential. It's just a matter of like getting the confidence to do it. The songwriting on this one is embarrassing. It's pretty bad. Some of my rhymes, never knew it would be so hard when I opened up the rest of my heart. Oh, whew, I'm glad I've put some time into learning how to actually write well.
I'll agree with her that I thought the guitar was really cool. She worries about herself as a guitar player pretty often, where she's like, oh, I'm not doing enough cool stuff. And in that she's doing this neat little hammer-on riff and stuff as she's singing, and it's really cool. So I dig the guitar. Interestingly enough, kind of like my early recording, I think there's too much like upper register EQing on everything. And
I don't think I even knew what EQ was then. I think I just like slapped some filters on it and went.
Well, and I think, I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of early recordings from anybody that I know that's ever done a home recording, everybody just like has these really upper register sounds. And I think that's because, I don't know, they're easy for the ear to hear those sounds. And so like you can hear, when you don't actually have good audio quality, you can hear those upper register sounds, so you like focus on those. And you forget to like address the rest of the spectrum. I will say that when I first met Kendra, everything was sad. Every song she did was sad. Everything was sad the whole time. So I think that if she were to even redo this song, she would probably try to throw in some more dynamics to where it's not like on one emotional level the whole time. But that being said, the vocal was a heck of a lot better than the one on my early track.
Alright, your turn.
Okay, so this next track is called The Distance Between Two Souls. Back in 2014, my buddy Trevor Walker and I released an album called Lovely, Gorgeous, Tricky, Wicked, Deadly. And it was, I'm still proud of that. There, you know, it's not perfect. It was recorded in a music shed, or garage basically. And it was just, we didn't know a whole lot of what we were doing, but we knew a heck of a lot more than I did back in 2007. And I'm still proud of it. I still think it's a good album. Well, we started to record a follow-up that never came out, and this track is from that follow-up. Sometimes Kendra and I still play this song. So let's give it a listen.
Like stars, I've learned to love you without even seeing your face, seeing your face. The distance between two souls is never that far away. The distance between two souls is never that far. Souls is never that far away. The distance between two souls is never that far.
So immediately that one, the audio spectrum is way, way, way better than that other track. The guitar, the electric guitar is nice and crisp. The bass comes in and has its own spot. The overall mixing quality is significantly better. I've noticed over the years that I have trouble personally with my vocals anytime I sing in the key of D, and that's what that song is in. I think sometimes I'm afraid to like change the key of a song, and like I should shift that one up a little bit, and it would just have been way better. And then I think everything would have been better about it. So I think my vocal is the biggest problem there, but I could have done something to fix it. The actual sound of the audio is quite good. I'm pretty pleased with that. The harmonies come in good. The reverb on everything sounds good. I needed to do something about the vocal.
Yeah, I think the vocal in that is improved over the previous one. But like I was just thinking, wow, even in the last 5 years you've gotten even better than that. I like this song. I think it's cleverly written. It's fun to sing. I like harmonizing to it. And I agree that overall the production of it, you had a little bit more know-how in it, and it sounds a little bit less amateurish. So my next one was originally released on Noise Trade, which apparently is no longer a thing. It's now Paste Music, apparently. She sings along to these old melodies. She sings her songs along by the kitchen sink. She lets the music play, and she starts to sway, 'cause she knows he's on his way. But we've still got it made, 'cause I always have you in moonlight serenade. Some people laugh at us and say we're crazy fools, but the last laugh belongs to me and you. Like, I thought I was gonna hate myself for writing it, like listening, because I haven't listened to this one in years since it was first recorded. So I recorded this one in 2012, so about 3 years or 2 years after the first one. And I actually recorded it in my university's like little recording studio, which is basically just a house that had some recording equipment. So that's an actual piano you hear. I think I EQ'd it all to mess, and it sounds like an electric piano. It lost its real resonance. Vocally, I hear two weird things happening here. So there's one, I'm still trying to sing in a way that makes me sound more mature, but also this was shortly after I found out that I had hypothyroidism, and my thyroid was actually swollen for a long time, so it was enlarged, and it was not pressing on my larynx because it's below it, but it was kind of creating this mass effect, and so I ended up with a much raspier voice than I have now. So I hear like that rasp that I really struggled with in college, and eventually once I got on the right medications and had all that worked out, the raspiness went away. It comes back from time to time, but not nearly like it was then. So it was interesting listening back and actually like hearing physically what was happening with me then. So I actually wrote this song at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up in the middle of the night, I had the idea for the song, and I went and wrote it all in one sitting and basically didn't change anything from the time I wrote it to the time that I recorded it. And I ended up, I met the lead singer for Anne Berlin at a show they did in Charlotte. And I was like, hey, I'm a songwriter, would you be willing to listen to some of my songs? Which is like the dumbest thing in the world to do. But he was a really nice person, and he gave me his email address. And so I emailed it to him, and he actually ended up writing me back and giving me some personalized song critique on that. I actually think the songwriting on this is pretty good.
I was just trying to figure out how to sing, period, but I think you already knew how to sing well. You just didn't know your own sound that you wanted.
With that.
And I think that on our recordings that we've made together as Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs, like you are Kendra more so than you are in those early recordings.
Well, this has been a Brown Mountain Lightning Bugs retrospective.
A very doggy retrospective.
We had a lot of dog in this video. If you enjoy our content and thought this was fun, you can like and comment and subscribe, and if you really liked it, you can share it. All those little things make a difference for us, and so we appreciate every little bit that you guys do for us to keep us rolling in this crazy endeavor that we have embarked on. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time. First time I performed in front of people was in March of 2010, and I think I recorded this later that year, later that fall. So I was about... What?
So I think...
He's driving home and he's